Hello everybody, welcome to the Rational Webcast. I'm here again with Marty as always, and today we are talking about Minecraft Storymode. Konami no longer making AAA games apparently, and a bunch of other stuff including PlayStation's 20th anniversary, PlayStation VR renamed, and you play basically being dicks. How are you, Marty?
Same as always, being thrown up on, being pooped on, and attempted to give a very small child a bath. I should stress it was my child, so no calling the police, listeners. But it was a good morning.
That'd be completely different if it was not your child. What time have you been up since?
Today I've actually had a bit of a lie-in. It was about 6 o'clock I woke up this morning, so
Wow, 6 o'clock.
feeling fresh.
Wow. Oh, well, I was up about 4 o'clock, so I beat you.
You did this week.
Then I went back to bed, so it's fine.
Beautiful. Let's go with Minecraft Storymode first of all. I mean, the release date's been announced, and everyone knows that it's going to be a Telltale scenario. But you take this one. You're more of the Minecraft guy.
I played Minecraft for several hundred hours, and then never again because it got boring. But Telltale generally, it's good when it has got these things going on, but I'm not too sure about the Minecraft story mode, because really, what can you do with Minecraft? The idea behind Minecraft is the fact that you create your own story. This one's kind of making one for you, so it kind of defeats the object a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, Minecraft is that open sandbox in which you can do anything with kind of no direction and no need for it. But Telltale making this just absolutely reeks of them hoping to cash grab, to just make as much money off this massive phenomenon that is Minecraft.
You wouldn't think Telltale would need to cash grab like that, seeing as the success they've had with everything else and the vast amount of other properties they're currently developing for.
Yeah, I mean, they're the absolute darling of the point-and-click genre at the moment, but I don't know. I feel personally that their games are becoming a little stale. Everyone knows that the choices that you make don't really have that much of an effect on the story. It's still going to be basically the same thing. And I don't feel that it's as impressive a feat anymore as it certainly was when it first started. I don't feel like they've made much progress in the genre.
Yeah, I guess it's that thing where, to start with, they were innovative. It's kind of like the Call of Duty kind of syndrome, where they innovated to start with, and it was like, oh, wow, like Call of Duty Modern Warfare 1 was really, really good, and it had some big surprises, including where a nuke goes off in your face. But then they kept doing the same old things, and they always had the shock value kind of scene, and they didn't really do anything to innovate, and Telltale seemed to be going much the same way, just with different properties. And it's just like, if it's the property you like, then I guess it's a little bit of a fun diversion. But I know they've made a lot of they've made some stuff that's a lot of crap before. I mean, the Jurassic Park game that they made is not great in any kind of way, shape, or form.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree, and especially when you start to look at other people that have started to creep into the genre as well.
Yeah,
I mean, Square Enix made Life is Strange. I don't know if you played any of that, but
I've been meaning
it
to.
really is a good game. If they could just fix the lip syncing, which really takes me out of it, then they would have a massive game on their hands. I mean, the idea is that you're able to make decisions, but at any point you can also rewind time, so you have the possibility of going and seeing the effect of both of those decisions and then choosing whichever one you prefer, which is just a brilliant idea, and they genuinely seem to have effects on the story.
I don't think that would necessarily work for Telltale, though. That kind of go back and being able to choose while knowing the result, because they rely on a lot of guilt. Mm-hmm. Like in the Walking Dead series especially. You didn't save this guy, so now you get to feel guilty for the rest of the game.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that it decreases the weight of your decisions, but at the same time, it's just an idea of the kind of innovations that can be made in the genre.
Oh, definitely,
just are not being made in the genre at the moment.
Yeah, well, that's always the way. The first innovator innovates spectacularly, and then they get stuck in a rut. You've seen it over and over again. The aforementioned Call of Duty, even Apple and the iPhone. And it takes other people to come along and innovate where they basically fail to, like further along the line.
Yeah, but I also think that we're just getting it to the point of fatigue with their games as well. They're bringing out so much at the moment. Not only kind of this Minecraft storyline, but also Game of Thrones, Walking Dead, Borderlands, all of these different things. They're all very samey. Granted, it's a different story, but the game itself is always going to be very similar. So I feel that we're kind of at the point of fatigue there now.
Yeah, I've thought that. I've been dubious about Minecraft Storymode from the day it was announced, though. But if you want to pick it up, then it's coming out on October 13th. So, get it if you just feel like having a bit of fun. Because, yeah, I imagine it's going to be, it's going to be a bit funny, at the very least.
Yeah, I mean, and also it's going to be aimed at kids, something that Telltale's previous games haven't been. You look at Borderlands, that's a bit too old for them. You look at Game of Thrones, of course it isn't. Walking Dead, of course it isn't. So yes, this is a new demographic for them as well. So for kids, it's going to be a fresh experience, and it's also coming out on pretty much every console you can imagine, other than the 3DS. So Xbox One, Xbox 360, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 3, PC, Wii U, and PlayStation Vita eventually, and mobile platforms. So you're going to see it around.
You're probably going to get it eventually. Is it coming up? Did you say it was coming out on mobile devices?
Yep.
So I'm sorry.
It's okay. So yeah, let's. I mean, I think it's an interesting thing. Keep an eye out for it. It might turn out to be brilliant because they have a chance to actually put some decent humour in this, make something a bit more light-hearted. But God knows whether it will work. But yeah, let's move on. Shall we have a look at Konami? I absolutely love Konami.
Konami. Yeah, I suppose so.
Yeah, so I mean they've. It's no secret the issues that they've been having over the last couple of years, really. But if we look at past 6 months with Kojima very publicly leaving the company, and in a way that didn't seem in any way professional. And now we hear that they've got rid of the technology director that created, what was the engine called now? Oh, I can't remember. That created the engine that runs Metal Gear, which they built from scratch, by the way, so that's a pretty big investment. So they're just getting rid of that now, and they're going to be ceasing all AAA console development on everything, apparently, other than Pro Evo. So if you're a Pro Evo fan, it's a good day.
Pro Evo
for
is
anybody
hardly
else,
AAA.
It's not far off. I mean, it's the other football game.
I know, it's another one of those iterative games which you just... It's just a palette swap every time. Fox Engine, by the way.
Fox Engine, fair enough. Okay. Cheers. Yeah, so I mean, have you got any thoughts on it? For me, it feels like a big loss.
I think that maybe it's not as big of a deal as you might think, because for me, Konami, the only thing I'm really familiar with that they do is Metal Gear, and seeing as Hideo Kojima's pissed off, they're not really even going to be able to do that properly anymore. So, it kind of makes sense, I guess. They just know they're losing one of the best assets, so they're downsizing. You don't know what the future's going to hold. They might come around again and work their way back up to these things, but maybe they just want to step out of the front lines of gaming before things go bad. And we've seen it over and over again, where game developers try and keep pushing their envelopes, even though they are clearly not what they used to be. And, I think it might be a sensible decision.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that argument. It's a fair one. I mean, looking at other properties that Konami does, you've got to look at things like Castlevania and Silent Hill as being two massive name properties.
Castlevania hasn't been what it was for the longest time, and Silent Hill, well, I've never played a Silent Hill game, but everybody says the past few Silent Hill games were pretty crap. And
the past few Silent Hill games have been mediocre at best. Castlevania, unless you're talking about the 2D games, really haven't done very well. The 3D games have always been awful.
The next Silent Hill that they wanted to do, that actually looked half decent, they cancelled.
Yeah, that did look fantastic.
Like I said,
I don't know if you played the demo at all.
I've never played Silent Hill game, like I said, and I've never been interested to. But I did watch a few gameplays of PT, and that actually really made me want to play it. Mm-hmm. That's how good it was.
Oh, I played through PT myself, and it was a fantastic experience. Really well done. Very unique in how it was made.
Yeah.
Especially with the talking fetus.
Oh god,
I thought that was impressive, especially when I had a baby on the way at the time. Yeah, really enjoyed that one. So yeah, I think the thing that's disappointing me now is the fact that they are walking away from AAA development in an industry where I don't think you can really benefit at all from sitting still for a while. They're not attempting anything else innovative at all from a studio that used to be incredibly innovative, and they're just kind of locking their IPs away, just making pachinko machines out of them instead, which I don't know. They could at least sell them, make a bit more money on that.
I don't know if
get rid of it and see what else they can do.
If it brings in the money, though. I mean, pachinko machines are ridiculously popular in Japan, so I guess they don't have they don't have to really think about exactly what people want. They just have to. Their main priority is, are they making the money? And if they're making pachinko machines, and they're a Japanese company, that seems to be what the Japanese people want. So they don't really have a obligation to the Western audience.
Oh, not at all. They have no obligation to anyone. Well, I think that's kind of wrong. They almost do. They've created an art form, and they themselves have created these IPs, which I think is unfair to say they're anything but art, and they're now locking them away, meaning that no longer can they be used for anything other than these pachinko machines, which I struggle to see a decent justification for.
In fact, I don't even know what a pachinko machine is.
Fair enough. It's just kind of a slot machine type thing.
Is it like those ones that you see in Jackie Chan's Thunderstrike?
I'm going to pretend that I know exactly what that is, and say no, you sick bastard.
No, they are.
They could be. I genuinely don't know what.
They're the ones with the little balls.
Jackie Chan's Thunderstrike is.
Oh, it's a good film. Watch it.
Okay. I mean, I won't, but yeah. So, yeah. I mean, we'll kind of have to agree to disagree there. I mean, I can see what you're saying, but
my thought is,
look at the way that they've done these things over the last few years. Apparently, employees that are useless are just put on to menial tasks like sweeping the floors, and they've really upset the press with how they've been reacting the last few years, just cutting people off and not explaining why, taking offence to anybody that talks about them critically. I don't think that's good practice for anyone.
Well, no, that's not good business practice to kind of like basically alienate the people who are buying your stuff. It's just about the whole locking away the IP things. I think if a lot of developers had stopped doing their IPs a long time ago, they wouldn't have been driven into the ground. I mean, they're profitable to start with, and then you tend to see them milking, and they just become nothing. Like the Assassin's Creed series. The Assassin's Creed series used to be amazing. Now it's just another, yearly iteration of the same game. Assassin's Creed, Call of Duty. I mean, even to an extent, even though it doesn't come out every year, Tomb Raider, it's just, it doesn't have the kick that it used to.
And you see that's where I begin to disagree with you, because with something like Tomb Raider, they took an old IP that was becoming very worn down, and then rebuilt it from scratch with a different studio.
And it was crap.
No, it's a brilliant game. Absolutely critically acclaimed.
What, Tomb Raider Legend?
Pardon, sorry?
Tomb Raider Legend?
No, not that, you dimwit. The Tomb Raider reboot.
Yeah, no, I know that's supposed to be good, the Tomb Raider reboot, but I'm saying that was made by Crystal Dynamics, and they tried to continue the original series, and it was pretty poor, and that's when they chose to reboot it.
Yeah,
So,
which is what I'm saying that Konami should consider doing. Giving it over to somebody else and then rebooting the series.
But instead of, like, milking the same franchise, can they just... I don't know, it's a risk on building new IPs, isn't it? The new ideas they have, try and implement it in a new IP, but then people won't buy it because, it's got a different name. It's like, take a risk, damn it! If it looks good.
Yeah, I mean, nobody's willing to take a risk anymore with something that doesn't have a name, just because the costs are so high nowadays.
But
which is our fault as consumers, because we want new technology and we want bright, shiny things.
2K managed it, though.
What do you mean?
Was it 2K? But basically, BioShock, that was a spiritual successor to... I'm all on board for spiritual successors. Ones that are linked to the original, but aren't really anything to do with them. They're not just trying to say, oh yeah, we're continuing this game, just because. They're like, yeah, we've taken the ideas from this game, but we've gone our own way with it, and we're creating a new story,
Do you mean... see, that's a bit of an odd one, because are you talking about from System Shock to BioShock?
Yeah.
Or are you talking about from BioShock to BioShock Infinite, which certainly didn't need to have the same name?
Well, both, really. And it's just got... Basically, it's just brand recognition. Quake is probably one of the first ideas of this, because Quake and Quake 2 are two completely different games. And it's just... The only reason they named that was, because they couldn't be asked to rename it. But it's also brand recognition, like Quake did really well. So, name it Quake 2, but it's something completely different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that's more kind of my argument than yours.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go on to something a bit more light-hearted.
Yeah, I think we've come full circle on that one.
They turned out to be two kind of big conversations. Let's go on to Hyrule Warriors Legends.
Hyrule Warriors
Now, I don't know if you've heard anything much about this. Hyrule Warriors, first of all, is Dynasty Warriors with Zelda.
I knew what Hyrule Warriors is.
Which is really cool. Got it on my Wii U, played it to death. Just one of the best games on the Wii U. It has that Zelda feeling down to a T, whilst in no way being Zelda. So it's awesome. Now, they decided to remake that, re-release that, whichever one you prefer, for the 3DS. Kind of a good idea. Personally, I've always thought that the Dynasty Warriors games on handheld were a bit naff because they don't have quite many characters on screen, because they're on a handheld console, but still, that's a different argument altogether. But the weird thing is, they're bringing it out on the 3DS, great, but on the classic 3DS, it won't be able to display stereoscopic 3D. It'll only be 3D now on the new 3DS, a new 3DS XL, which, by the way, is a stupid name for a console. I do not get that.
What are they called, the 3D? They're called the Nintendo DS XL. So you got the 3DS XL. They're not very imaginative with these names.
Yeah, no, it's the literal name of the new 3DS. That's literally the name of the console.
Why not call it the Rabbit Hunter or something? I don't know.
I think that might have connotations with adult toys, If we sidestep that topic ever so slightly,
But-
the idea of a Rumble Pack being in a portable console, we can then move on to the fact that I don't know, it's just a stupid name. Why not call it the Super 3DS?
Super 3DS. I know,
think
that
that's
kind
kinda
of
cool.
fit with Nintendo's whole
Yeah, that works.
thing. Or the 3DS 64.
That'd have been a bit weird. 6DS.
6DS. Or just call it, which iteration of the DS is it? Just go the whole Sony route. Don't even bother trying to come up with names, just name them in a increasing scale.
Yeah, just call it the 4DS now.
That would mean that you would be able to manipulate time with it.
You kind of can, as long as you only want to go in one direction at a very, very constant speed.
They should release a special edition of Majora's Mask. Yeah, no, Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask on the Nintendo 4DS.
Yeah, they could do.
That would work because they've got time manipulation in, haven't they?
Yeah, I mean that would definitely work in terms of naming. But they've already come out on the 3DS, so
Well, beating a
they're
dead
both really good versions as well.
beating a dead horse has never been a problem for Nintendo, you know.
Yeah, fair point. Does become a little bit weary sometimes. Especially when you consider how many times Ocarina of Time has been out on consoles now. I mean, it's becoming ridiculous. It was on the N64, it was on the GameCube, it was on the Wii, on the Wii U? No, it's not on the Wii U, is it? No. But still, it's on a stupid number of consoles, it's a bit daft now. I think they've kind of got to let that rest for a generation.
Yeah. But it was one of the most critically acclaimed Zelda games. You know, a lot of people say Ocarina of Time is the best Zelda game, so you can see why they've focused on
if
that
you let
one.
it go, that people will say it's the best game ever.
No, I wouldn't go that far.
I mean, you wouldn't, but that's because you don't like them. I mean, I personally wouldn't, and I do like them. That's probably a bit unfair. But if you look at, some people are quite happy to say that, in the same way that they're happy to say that Final Fantasy VII is the best game ever.
I've never played.
And that's a steaming pile of dog shit. So
Yeah, I've never played Final Fantasy VII because why would I?
Yeah, I played up a little bit, and it was just dull.
I've probably just upset about 90,000 fanboys by saying that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Oh well. Yeah, I mean, with the Hyrule Warriors, they've also said that it's going to support amiibos, so everybody's, of course, really happy about that. And we'll also kind of include some of the DLC from the Wii U, which is pretty cool.
That'd be interesting, putting your amiibo on, and it'd be like a Zelda version of Skylanders.
Yeah, I mean, they've done it with the Wii U version anyway, which is kind of cool, some of the stuff in there. But, they're just bringing the DLC over to the 3DS as well. Which, I mean, as I say, absolutely brilliant game. I can completely see me buying it just for the hell of it anyway, because I thought the game was awesome.
I can definitely see the appeal of Hyrule Warriors. I mean, it doesn't really appeal to me because I'm not a big Zelda person. But I do actually love Dynasty Warriors. It's a fun, dumb game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
And if they did that, if they associated different intellectual properties with the idea of Dynasty Warriors, I would definitely be into that. I can't think of... I don't know, just anything. Your favourite game in the guise of a Dynasty Warriors, where you could just go and... It'd be interesting to see Mario in Dynasty Warriors just cutting through hordes of Goombas.
I mean, I should say as well, it's not the first time that they've done this. I mean, there is it Gundam Warriors? I think it might just be called, as simple as that. But
yeah,
there is a Gundam game.
Yeah, that was... The Gundam is not nearly as popular as like Zelda. Like, it's over here at least. In other countries, Gundam's really big, but it's just kind of flying robots skidding around. I don't actually get it. I mean, I've played one or two Gundam style games, and they just kind of glide around on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Have they got roller skates on?
I don't think so. I think it's more rocket based, but it's not my thing. I'm not a big fan of giant mechanoid robots. I'm not in principle anyway. I mean, I'm sure that somebody could build one that I'd like, but yeah. But still, I mean,
do you like Transformers?
No, I'm not a fan.
Well,
no, I haven't seen the films.
No, that's what I mean. The films. Nobody's a fan of the actual films because they're dumb pieces of crap. But I'm just talking about purely the robot fights. That's the only reason I watch them. It's because the robot fights are well done. I do like to see Optimus Prime beating the ever-loving crap out of enemy of the week.
Okay, I'll have a look at it, but.
And then the fourth one, they get dinosaur transformers. I can't remember the name of the show. There was a TV show with the dinosaur transformers. Oh God, what was it called?
I don't know, but it sounds awful. So bad.
I liked it when I was little.
I'm sure you did, but that doesn't excuse your poor taste. Anyway, let's move on. I think we've talked about dinosaur transformers enough, and that is slightly,
can never
deviating from the
never talk
Warriors
about
topic.
Dinosaur transformers.
Golden rule. So yeah, next let's have just a quick chat about Uplay.
Uplay's an asshole.
Yes. I mean this has been well established. Anything else?
No, that's really all I've got to say about it. Origin was supposed to be the enemy. Origin was supposed to suck more than anything, and Uplay was just supposed to be the whimpering puppy dog, kind of just going, oh look at me, I'm relevant as well. And now they just seem to be they stepping their big boots in and saying, look, I am relevant. We're going to do something completely dickish.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty much. Do you want to chat about what it is, or do you want me to take it?
Well, they're not allowing their games to be opened through Steam anymore. Like, if you add your shortcut to your Uplay game on Steam, they won't allow that to open. I don't know exactly the details of it. I just know it's kind of a dick move. I don't know why they've done it.
Yeah. I mean, it's a really naff move. A lot of people that. In order to play games, some Ubisoft games, they have to buy them on Uplay. But people don't want to have more than one client. They want to be able to use their one client, which for the vast majority of people out there at the moment is Steam. So what they do is they just build a link into Steam so that they can then click on the link and then play the game, which will just open Uplay and play the game. It's no problem. What they've done now is they've made it so that if you click on that link, it won't just boot up the game. You then have to click through, open up Uplay, blah blah blah, to eventually get to the game. It's a ridiculous move. It feels like they've just done it to be arseholes. They're
basically just forcing their client on us. A lot of people don't use Steam because they want to. It's just because it's more convenient. It's a repository of all their games. And to have these other people come along and force their own clients on us is just kind of stupid. Doesn't make sense.
Yeah. It's not because people, particularly like Steam. I mean, certainly in the first place they didn't anyway.
Well, no, a lot of people hated Steam to start with. I mean, it was awful to start with.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's become quite a good client, but people don't necessarily want to use it. It's just that it's there. It's a necessary evil in order to play your games. And now it's become quite usable, but there's still niggles out there. But people get on with it, and because all of their games are in there, the vast majority of anyone's games are in there. It's just the client that they'll use. So for another company to come along and pretty much say no, you can't use the client that you want to use, is just probably one of the worst moves that Ubisoft's done. And Ubisoft has made a lot of poor decisions these last few years.
Like Assassin's Creed Unity?
Yeah. Just like releasing that game in a broken form.
I think they're shooting themselves in the foot by forcing this on us, because I know overall it's relatively minor, and we might be getting up in arms about nothing. But I know there's a lot of people out there who will avoid buying like the PC versions of these games because they'll be forced to deal with Uplay. I mean, it's the same with Origin as well. There's a lot of people who just don't get the games because it's like, oh no, I don't want to have to deal with that crap. It just complicates things, and yeah, it helps their console gaming because people just go and buy it on that. But it's not exactly purist, is it?
Yeah, and I've got to say as well, for me, one of the worst things about playing a Ubisoft game on a console is that they force you to use Uplay in some elements.
Do they?
You have to sign into Uplay to play certain things or to do certain things on the games.
To be honest, I haven't actually played a game on the console for a pretty long time now, so I don't know what the new stuff they're doing with. But as if they force you to do it on the console as well.
Yeah, it's really annoying, really dickish.
I thought if you actually had the disc there and everything, then you'd just be able to just stick it in and play.
Oh, I mean, to some extent you can, but if we take Far Cry 4, in order to play multiplayer, in order to see anybody else in the world, you need to log into Uplay. It's something that I still refuse to do.
Why would you? Why would you want to see other people in the world anyway?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why you'd want to ever see Uplay, never mind do anything else. They've got enough of my information there. I don't want to give them any more. But talking about very weird decisions, let's have a talk about PlayStation VR.
PlayStation,
as it's now called.
That's a crap name. They just wanted to brand it PlayStation, basically. Like the Xbox 360 when Kinect came out, it was called Kinect. It wasn't called Xbox Kinect or anything. PlayStation, when they had their motion controller come out, the PlayStation Move. They just want to brand it as theirs.
Yeah, I mean, giving something an identity isn't always a bad idea, but when it comes at the cost of naming your product something actually reasonable, then it's probably not a good idea.
The Morpheus was a good name. It had kind of a kick to it. It's like, ooh, it sounds mysterious. What is it? You would want it to look it up. Whereas PlayStation VR, it's very vanilla. It's kind of like, oh, that's it. No more to say about that. We know exactly what it is. Nobody wants to look it up.
Yeah, it certainly doesn't have a futuristic sound to it, does it?
Which is a shame because it looks really futuristic, more so than the Oculus Rift. But the Oculus Rift actually sounds cool.
Yeah, great name. Though I have to say the HTC Vive does not sound cool.
Oh god, that's a very bad name. The Vive. Where did they even get that name from? Is it just the sound somebody was making as they were falling asleep in one of their project meetings? Oh, we're naming that. Fantastic. Good idea, Dave. What?
Promotion for you.
Promotion for you. Yeah, it's just got some guy who's just wandered on off the street, some hobo. It's like, the Vive. You could.
Oh my god! Yes, that's the one. That's the one we're naming it. Get it out there. Put it out there now. Please make millions of them, and please just give us the money.
Deputy CEO. Now, good. The deputy CEO of HTC is now basically just a hobo. Sat behind the desk going,
Pretty much.
Yeah. I own HTC phone, and I actually like them. I
was always a fan of HTC back in the day. I haven't had any of the newer stuff, but back in the day they had some fantastic goings on in the Android world.
The M8 is actually really, really good. So I shouldn't really be insulting them. It's too easy. Having a name like that, it's too easy just to take pot shots.
No, you're allowed to insult people that you like and people that you don't like. It's a really good world we live in.
I prefer to insult people I like. It's my way of showing affection. Marty, you're a dick.
Yeah, I mean, you are... I'm going to go with penis. You are a penis. But, yeah, I like insulting people. I like insulting companies more so.
Well, this goes to show how much Marty likes insulting people. We have a topic document that we share between us, and he was just typing random things like Nick smells like penis.
I said poop. I said poop and wee. Why would I say penis? That's so gay. Anyway.
They weren't even very mature insults. It was just very, very juvenile.
Well, yeah, that's how you know I don't mean them. Yeah,
Well,
the other thing that they've released about PlayStation VR, I mean, they've shown off a couple of launch titles as well, which is cool. But in particular, they've also talked about the price of PlayStation VR. They haven't said a price, but what they have said is that it's going to be priced as a new gaming platform.
$400.
That's in all likelihood what we're looking at, yes. Which is a lot of money.
It is. I always just gathered that, like the Oculus Rift, it's a peripheral. That's why I equate it to like the Kinect. I don't see the VR headsets as a completely new console, like a whole new thing to be brought as a gaming device on its own. I see it as something that you'd plug into your existing device and run games through it. Like I say, like the Oculus Rift.
Yeah, I've got to say, this is where I actually would put my money on the Oculus Rift, because Facebook are going to try and make it into a new platform. They're going to do everything in their power to make it into a platform by itself.
I really don't like the idea of making these VRs platforms. Doesn't make sense to me. It seems like they're, one, pricing themselves out of the market, and two, making it much too exclusive. Like, oh yeah, you could buy it, but there'll only be they have the same problem as a brand new gaming console all over again. Like, to start with, there'll be new games for it, whereas there are already any number of modded stuff for the Oculus Rift in its current state.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a massive barrier to entry that the majority of people at the moment just cannot afford.
Yeah.
It's going to be those die-hard gamers that will purchase it on day one,
Yeah,
and nobody else will purchase it for a good while.
It's going to launch with... it says it will launch with more than 10 titles, but I don't know whether those titles will be any good. It'll be your general release game fluff.
Yeah, I mean, you'll probably have a couple of decent games in there that are, in all likelihood, a little bit short, a little bit tech demo-y, and then the rest of it will just be a generic naff, cash-ins.
Cooking Mama on PlayStation VR.
Whoa, take that back. Cooking Mama was awesome. She was hip, she was with it, she was damn sexy as well for an anime girl, and I
on
would
record
eat anything off her.
It's on record now, you find Cooking Mama sexy.
I think it's on record that everybody, including, might I say, Barack Obama, thinks Cooking Mama is sexy. I don't know why I went with Barack Obama. I mean, I could have said David Cameron, keep it British, but for some reason I went with Barack Obama. I'm sorry, Barack, if you're listening.
I've never actually played Cooking Mama, and I haven't looked much into it. It's the first thing that came to mind. But I imagined it as a big, fat kind of woman. Back to VRs. I think this will only drive people more to go and build their own Google Cardboard.
Okay.
Do you know what that is?
Of course I know what that is. I used one several times.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a great idea. Use your phone as the screen, the monitor, thus lowering the barrier for entry massively. Everything else is made out of cardboards and bits of plastic and metal and glass, which you can purchase for next to no cost.
Yeah, and if you do want to buy a new one, like one that's already constructed out like plastic or something, or it costs less than £10. I mean, you can even just order through a cardboard template that you just fold into a shape.
Yep.
The only thing I don't get about it is because your phone screen is right up close to your face. How the hell do you focus on it?
Oh, it's a little bit blurry, obviously, because of the phone screen isn't as high a resolution as you probably want. But you have to purchase lenses for it. in order to make it work, and it's those lenses that enable you to focus on the screen.
Fair enough.
It's surprisingly good, but at the same time a little bit naff.
Well, okay. It's good, but it's naff.
Yeah, I mean, I mean VR. VR is interesting, but I don't feel like it's there yet. I won't be rushing out to buy a Project Morpheus on day one unless I've saved up a lot of pennies, which I definitely won't have.
I still want an Oculus Rift.
Yeah, I don't think my PC could really handle an Oculus Rift, so I'm going to have to leave that.
Well, mine could.
I know you smug git.
I've spent enough on the bloody thing.
Yeah, should hope so.
Well, speaking of Sony and the PlayStation doing weird things, it's their 20th anniversary. Yay! But they've released a PS1 style controller. It's just a grey PS4 controller. How is this in any way reminiscent of the original controller? It's just a different colour.
I mean, the colour scheme's not far off the original controller.
No, but my point is, it's just a colour.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at...
You could leave your normal controller in the sun for a couple of days and you get much the same effect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you have to look at how Nintendo are handling the 30th anniversary of Mario in comparison to how Sony are handling the 20th anniversary of PlayStation.
Well, yeah, Nintendo are releasing Mario Maker. That's a brilliant move!
Yeah,
Sony are releasing a different colour controller. Actually, a different colour console, I'm sorry.
Are they releasing the full console? I thought it was just the controller and headset.
Apparently they're releasing a console, but I don't honestly care.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm with you there. There's very little to like about this move. There's nothing really to be gained from it. It's just so you can be that kid on the playground that says I've got the old school controller.
Yeah, I mean they probably weren't even born when the original controller came out. I've got original controllers. They're crap. Why would you want to be nostalgic about that piece of shit?
Yeah, I'm with you there. I thought the original PlayStation controllers were really poor. I thought the PlayStation 2 controller was pretty damn poor as well, to be perfectly honest. I don't think it was until we got to the PlayStation 3 that we really got anything that was worth playing with.
I don't know. Like I say, I'm not a big console gamer, but in terms of consoles, I can see the merit of the Xbox controller over the PlayStation controller. That might just be...
Which version of the Xbox controller are we talking about?
Oh, the Xbox 360.
Okay, yeah, because the original Xbox controller was probably the worst controller in recent memories.
I don't know. What about that weird... was it the Nintendo 64 controller, which had like 3 prongs?
Yeah, I mean, that was a really strange controller. But it was also massively ahead of its time.
I don't know, I might just prefer the Xbox controller because that's the kind of controller I get forced to use when using the controller of the PC.
Oh no, I mean it's now pretty much one of the best controllers that's been out for a while. I mean, personally, I think that the Wii Pro controller, that's really good, really comfortable. But yeah, I can see that the other main consoles now have caught up. They all have pretty decent controllers now.
I don't know, it's just the asymmetry works actually really well of the control sticks. I don't know why. That doesn't make any sense, but it does. You get somehow a better grip.
Yeah, I think it's putting functionality above form.
Yeah.
Which Sony really still don't want to do.
Yeah, I'll give it this. The PlayStation controller looks nicer. Because the Xbox 360 controller and by extension the X-Bone controller look kind of weird and stupid with the higgledy-piggledy asymmetrical. But you hold it and it's like, this is so much more comfortable.
Though I don't know if you ever played with one, but the original GameCube controller that still goes down for me as being the most comfortable controller to use.
I've heard that it's, the GameCube controller is really good.
Yeah, they just got everything right with that. It was like holding a cloud. It was fantastic. I mean, it was so well designed, so comfortable, and the buttons were just superb. The control stick, the thumbstick, I don't think has ever been topped. However, the second control stick on there was just a naff little C stick, and that was crap.
Oh yeah, I remember. I think I've used it like once or twice.
You probably used it in my dorm room in the first year of uni, to be honest.
But it is actually, it looks like the Xbox 360 controller in terms of its analog stick layout.
Yeah, that's where it first came about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can see that's, for some reason, I don't know why, the most ergonomic kind of way of doing it. I don't know. I think we've discussed control stuff. No, the Wii controller. The controller they released for the Wii.
Yeah.
Why? Why did they do that? You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, we're specifically talking about the Wiimote here.
No, not the Wiimote. The actual controller with buttons that they released.
Although, the classic controller.
Although the Wiimote is bloody stupid because it's like, when you're actually trying to use it as a controller, it's awful. No, the controller with the wire coming out of the bottom.
Wire coming out of the bottom?
Yeah.
What? I'm genuinely, I'm going to have to look this up because I have no idea what you're talking about. Wire bottom. This might backfire on me. But...
Oh my god, don't take that. Just type in Wii controller or something.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what you're referring to.
Basically,
genuinely don't know what you're referring to.
Basically, it's just an oval controller, thin oval controller, and it's got your buttons and the analog stick. But the wire, instead of coming out of the top of a controller like it is with, I don't know, every other controller, it comes out of the bottom.
Now, I don't want to talk down to you. Are you sure you're not talking about the Dreamcast?
No!
The Dreamcast controller, the wire came out the bottom.
Well, that was stupid as well then.
But with the Wii, there was no controller where the wire came out the bottom.
There is! I'm looking at it!
Send me a link then. I'm sorry, this is the only way to do it. You've got to send me a link.
I will send you a link.
Because it doesn't exist.
It exists.
Don't believe you.
It exists.
I am willing to put a pound on this.
Okay, deal.
Okay, let's look at it then. I've got the link, everybody. He sent me a photo bucket link, so that's probably reliable. Let's have a look. GameCube controllers 1. That's not a real controller.
The Wii controller in that picture, it is.
No, it isn't.
I
That's
swear
wrong.
to God.
It's a Wii Classic controller. Let's have a look.
You can buy it.
No, it can't come out the bottom, can it?
Yeah, it does. It's stupid.
No, it comes out the top.
That's not the top.
No, it definitely
Stop trying to beat me
out
on
the
this.
top.
I've won your pound.
No, you haven't.
Yes,
it comes
I have.
out of the top.
You owe me a pound.
It comes out of the top.
In that case, if you turn it upside down so it comes out the top, you've got the...
No, I'm not saying you turn the controller upside down. Genuinely, it comes out the top.
No, it doesn't.
It does. I've just sent you a link.
I know, I've seen it, and I've used one of these controllers.
So?
So...
I mean, to be fair, the only version that I actually own is the Classic Controller Pro. But I'm still willing to put a pound on this. And you definitely haven't won a pound so far.
Well, this is going to be continued next week. I'm going to go find this controller. And I'm going to take a picture of it, of me using it. No,
genuinely, if I have to purchase one of these just to prove you wrong, I will. I'm willing to do this.
Tune in next week for a thrilling conclusion of Nick and Marty argue over a stupid controller that nobody used anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at more pictures. I keep on finding pictures of both versions. I don't know whether just one of them got released or whether both of them actually got released, but there appear to be two different versions.
I don't know. One of them at least has got it coming out of a button, and it should.
Yeah, I mean, if that's the case, then I do owe you £1. I'm sorry.
Yeah, there we go. Anyway, on that bombshell, as Jeremy Clarkson would say before he got fired, I think we've reached time. Please, gentlemen.
Yep, indeed. It looks like we've come to the end of this show. Yeah, hope it wasn't too heavy or dull or any of those other things that we did.
Heavy man.
Yeah. But yeah, certainly enjoyed it, and I hope you guys did too.
Check out our videos at rationalgamers.com check out our articles at rationalgamers.com and videos at YouTube. So
yeah, I mean,
that's a thing.
And obviously, Rational Gamers, you can click on videos and podcasts and get to them there.
Of course.
Yeah, but yeah, we're trying our best to update the website every day. Failing a little bit, but we're getting there. Okay, we are getting there, guys.
I've got to go now. My fiance stood at the door demanding I go for breakfast.
You haven't had breakfast.
No!
You crazy son of a bitch.
See you next time, everybody.
See you guys. Thanks for listening.